Everybody, Dr. Bob Vaughn, your local health and wellness expert. And now
no.
we're going to go over some of our neck stretches to help with neck pain, upper back pain, a lot of different things that you can do to help loosen things up here. So big keys to keep in mind when you're stretching. When you stretch a muscle, it should be to the point of tension, not pain. You want to make sure you're staying hydrated, so getting half your body weight in ounces of water every day, as well as making sure that you are doing the stretches multiple times throughout the day, especially when you're starting off, because you are establishing new set points. We'll talk more about that as we go through. So let's get started. First stretch that we're going to work on is our levator stretch. So a levator is a muscle that goes from the back of your top of your shoulder blade up the side of your neck through here. This is where most people store their stress, or that knot they get in their back that they have their friends try to rub out on them. So what we want to do with this, first you want to sit up nice and tall. You're going to turn your head away from the side that you want to stretch, and then you're going to take the arm you're looking at and you're going to reach up and over, and you're going to gently pull the head down towards the armpit. You're going to hold that for about 30 seconds. Again, to the point of tension, not pain. Now when you're holding this stretch, basically it's like a deodorant check is the easiest way to remember this one. So make sure you do this before a workout, not afterwards. And if you need an additional stretch, you can actually take this other hand and you can either put it behind your back, or you can grab the edge of a chair and lean in a little bit more if you need to add in any more stretch, because that'll help pull that shoulder down. So we're gonna hold that for about another 5 seconds here, and then switch over to the other side. And go ahead and switch. So when you come out of the stretch, you want to go nice and slow. You don't want to yank or rebound too hard on it. Next one we're going to look the other direction. So again, you're going to turn away. You're going to take the arm you're looking at, reach up and over the head, and then you're going to pull the head down and towards the armpit. And again, you can get some extra pressure through here by holding down the edge of the chair with this. Now when you're stretching, you want to make sure that you're going to the point of tension, not pain, just because if it's too much, if it's pulling to the point of pain, it's actually going to make that muscle tighten up more, and that's the opposite of what we're looking for. Also making sure you're staying hydrated, because your muscles are 70% water on average. So it's important to make sure you're getting enough fluids. You want to make sure you're dealing with a nice piece of filet mignon, not a piece of crispy beef jerky. All right, and go ahead and relax there. And that is our levator stretch. Next stretch we're going to do is going to be for the traps. So that's the big muscle, comes from the side of the neck down to the shoulder, actually spans way down to the back. So we're going to be stretching the upper trap, which is another where I store my stress spot. You don't actually store stress. We'll talk more about that later. But you want to sit up nice and tall with this one. And what you're going to do now, looking straight ahead, you're going to grab the side of the head and very gently, you're going to pull your ear towards your opposite shoulder. And you're just going to hold that stretch, and you should feel that pulling along the side of the neck into the shoulder. Again, if you need additional stretch, take the other arm, grab the bottom of the chair, lean away slightly with that. Now when we're stretching, you're looking for tension, not pain. Very important to make sure you're only pulling the point of tension, not pain. Again, if a stretch hurts, you're probably doing it wrong or too hard. If some is good, more is better, the more is more often, as opposed to physically harder. So extremely important to make sure you're holding them at the right tension. So make sure you're paying attention to that. And go ahead and up nice and easy here, and then we're just going to switch over to the other side. So again, take the hand, reach up and over. You're going to tip the head down towards the side. And again, if you need some extra resistance, go and grab that chair, and then we're just going to hold that again for that 30 seconds. Nice tension, not pain, making sure you're staying hydrated. Great way to stay hydrated, have a water bottle with you. Just make sure you take a sip in between your stretches. Availability is one of the biggest issues. A lot of times people tell me, I don't like the taste of the water at work or at school. Well, then bring a bottle with you, carry the gallon jug around. It's getting more acceptable now. Also, you can put a lot of different stuff in there. You can put in like some orange slices or some mint and blueberry, a lot of different things. Get some infused water, get a little taste or flavor in there as well. And go ahead and relax there. We're going to let that head come up. And that is our upper trap stretch. Next stretch that we're going to work on is going to be for the suboccipital. So these are the muscles on the back of your head. These are the headache muscles. So when you get that forward head posture and things like that, these are the muscles that are working 4 times harder than they're designed to. So we want to make sure we get them stretched out a little bit as well as strengthened up. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit up nice and tall. You're just going to look down, and then you're going to take one or both hands and then just grab the back of the head and gently pull downward. And we're going to hold that for about 30 seconds. So you want to go for about 1 short commercial or count to 30, sing the alphabet song a couple times, whatever works best for you. Again, when you're having a headache, this is actually a really good stretch to do to help loosen up those suboccipital muscles. You can even dig the fingers or the thumbs back there through a little bit, which might be a little uncomfortable, but it will help break up that tissue and get you to loosen up quite a bit more. All right, we're gonna hold that for just a couple more seconds. And go ahead and come on up nice and easy. If they were really tight, you may want to literally like assist your head back up. It sounds kind of weird, but it'll help with some of the rebound tenderness on that as well. And that is our suboccipital stretch. So the next stretch we're going to do is going to be for the mid back. We call it the barrel stretch. This is going to get the mid trap, the rhomboids. This is one of the only times that I'm ever going to encourage anybody to slouch with it. So what you're going to do with this stretch is you're going to start with your shoulders down, so you don't want to shrug up at all. You're going to have your arms out in front of you with your fingers interlaced, like you're trying to hug a barrel or a tree. You're going to try to pull your elbows and your shoulders out as you round your back forward. So I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing here. It's going to turn here, so you want to pull out, and then you want to round the shoulder blades out, not lift them up. So we're going to hold this. This one we do a little bit differently. We're going to do it twice, but we're going to do it for 15 seconds just because we don't want to support a lot of that improper posture. But this is a great way to stretch out some of the mid-traps and the rhomboids, which are some of the postural muscles that typically get shut off when you're doing a lot of sitting and computer work. Go ahead and relax and shake that out a little bit. And then again, one more time. We're going to have the fingers interlaced, elbows out, and then you're going to round out the shoulders, kind of try to pull the fingers apart. Hold them for about that 10 to 15 seconds. And you should feel this right in between the shoulder blades if you're doing this correctly. Awesome, about 5 more seconds, hang in there. Perfect, and go ahead and relax. So that is our mid-trap or barrel stretch. All right, the last stretch that we're gonna work on in our neck upper back series here is going to be a PEC stretch. So we can either use a doorway or a corner. I'm gonna use a doorway because that's what we have available here. So I'm gonna walk over there, we're gonna have our arms up in front of us, and we're gonna do 3 different positions here. So as we come over to the doorway, you're going to put your hands, first position is gonna be arms at shoulder height, so 90 degrees here. You're gonna put the arms up. When you step forward, I want you to step forward and lean in, which gives you more control than just leaning in. And we're gonna hold that for 30 seconds, which again is gonna seem like forever. When you're stretching the pecs, really important to make sure you're keeping the chest up and not rounding the head forward with it. And these again are muscles that don't get stretched very often, especially if you spend a lot of time working at a desk or computer. Or if you were an athlete where you spent like a lot of time like me, we spent a lot of time benching, not a lot of time doing low rows and stuff, so you get overdeveloped in the front, not as much in the back. So you want to make sure that you are working on loosening that up, and go ahead and relax there. Now in between positions, you can go ahead and shake it out a little bit. Next one we're going to do is going to be arms above, because the pec is a large triangular shaped muscle. We need to work different angles of it. So you're going to go arms above shoulder height, again on the door frame. Stepping through, and we're going to hold that for about 30 seconds, which is going to seem like forever again. When we're stretching, you want to stretch to the point of tension, not pain, just because if it's painful, it's going to make those muscles want to tighten up more. This is one that you're going to notice a lot. It's a little bit tougher to sneak in, so if you're on a wall, you can do it one arm at a time. A lot of different ways to do it. Just need to make sure you're creative and consistent with what you're doing with that. Hang in there, you have about 5 more seconds here. Awesome, go ahead and relax and shake it out. And then the last one we're gonna do is gonna help us get the pec minor as well as some of the lower part of the pecs here. We're gonna do one with our elbows in at the side. So the setup position is gonna be the elbows in at the side, 90-degree bend at the elbows. And then you're gonna walk up to the door. You're gonna catch the door frame. And then you're gonna walk through, and we're gonna hold that position here, making sure you stay upright. A lot of people will round over when they're doing this. Very important that you stay upright so you get the stretch in the shoulders and not just in the back and the lower back area. So again, we're gonna hold that for about 30 seconds. So we got 15 more seconds on that hold. Excellent. Make sure we're keeping the tension on that muscle, but not pushing it into the point of pain. And go ahead and relax. So that is our pec stretch. So to wrap up the next series, some reminders when you're stretching. Again, when you're stretching, you want to go to the point of tension, not pain. You want to make sure you're doing your stretches 2 to 3 times a day because we are establishing new set points. And extremely important to make sure that you're staying hydrated because your muscles are 70% water on average. And if you're trying to stretch a dry, crackly muscle like a piece of beef jerky, it's going to crack and tear, it's going to get irritated. Whereas if you have a nice hydrated muscle, it's more like a piece of filet mignon. It's very fresh, tender. You can move it around pliable, and you're able to stretch and use that more often. Feel free to share this if you found it beneficial, and let me know if you have any questions. Have an awesome day.